Hello, hello. How you doing, Mr. Wells?
Good morning. Good morning. Thanks for having me.
It's a great morning because I have you right here with me this morning. We're live on Exigent Sports. Our platforms today, this morning is just live stream, and we're on Facebook, we're on YouTube, we're on X. And just to reach out to a small bit of the audience, later on we'll have this broadcast with BBB Communications, and they'll put it on their broadcast so we can see the masses. So good morning to you as well. Now, Mr. Matt, who is Mr. Matt Wells?
So I am currently Deputy Athletic Director for External Affairs at West Virginia University. I'm in my 22nd year working in the WVU Athletic Department, but I'm an East Tennessee native. I grew up just outside of Lake City, went to school in the Anderson County school system, graduated from Anderson County High School, have a bachelor and master's degree from University of Tennessee. Was a sports guy growing up, and probably the only thing I've ever really been good at. So when I had an opportunity to major in sport management and got some experience as an intern and then graduate assistant in the athletics department at Tennessee, kind of found something that I really enjoyed doing and was able to make a career out of it.
Nice, nice. So you said you was a sports guy growing up. What sport was that you played growing up?
So I was a basketball, baseball guy. So I played both all the way through, the conclusion of my senior year of high school, and had aspirations of playing college ball. Talked to some small colleges there in East Tennessee, Tusculum, Tennessee Wesleyan, and some other schools, and just the opportunities and all that didn't work out. So I went to school at UT, and probably the best thing that ever happened to me was to get into the sport management program and get involved in an internship in the athletics department at UT. I was lucky. I was there during probably what you would call the golden era. I know they're having a lot of success right now, but mid to late 90s was there during that time period, and they had a lot of success in football, but men's basketball, women's basketball, baseball,
Yes.
and developed some relationships and got some really good practical professional experience that allowed me to make connections and be prepared to go out into the job market.
Nice, nice, nice. Well, how about those Vols with that baseball championship they just took off and won there? I know that's pretty sweet. Now, did you get a chance to watch that?
I did. Matter of fact, so I'm the sport administrator for WVU baseball. We actually made a super regional this year, so I was pretty busy the regional weekend and the super regional weekend. We won the Tucson regional. I was on that trip with the team, and then planning and organizing the quick turnaround to go to Chapel Hill to play North Carolina in that super regional. We had two really great baseball games, lost in the ninth inning in both games. So once that was over and the teams that moved on and moved to Omaha, I was able to watch the Tennessee games for the most part and follow that. And as an alum, was excited for them, and people I still know in the athletics department excited for them.
Nice, nice. Well, you said you still know people in the Tennessee athletics department?
I do, yes. A handful. Over time, I've been gone for, like I said, this is my 22nd year at WVU, so I've been gone for a while, but there's still a few people there that I know and stay in touch with.
That's nice. Well, hopefully we can help make that connection. And I'd love to get those guys interviewed here. As I told you before we started, what we do on Exigent Sports is we want to help the student athletes and their parents, bridge that gap. What does it take to make it from the high school level to the collegiate level? What is it going to take for the high school students to be able to prepare themselves to not only make it to the collegiate level, but how do they succeed?
Yeah, and it all comes down to putting in the work, right? Putting in the work in the classroom, putting in the work on the practice field, putting in the work during the off season, whether it's the weight room or just working at your craft. And the other thing that I think is crucially important is, especially if you want to play sports at the collegiate level, whether that's D1, D2, D3, junior college, you're in a pretty exclusive club, an exclusive minority of people that get that chance to play college sports, no matter what the level is. Get to campuses, see campuses, go to camps, go to clinics, get in front of the coaches so they can put their own eyes on you. I think that's crucially important for people. So you can do it all at your high school and your local travel teams and all that stuff. But when the opportunity presents itself, nothing will help you as much as getting to a campus somewhere to be seen.
Absolutely. And we talk about that a lot here on the show, how important it is to make sure that you're getting to those camps. It is very important to make sure that you're getting to those camps, talking to the coaches, not only just showing up, and being a great athlete, but make sure that you're making those connections, because the more connections you make, as you said, getting those, the coaches getting their eye on you, that's going to, better your chances out there to be able to make it. So we talk about that a lot. How important for the student athlete is it to venture off to different camps?
I think it's important. You want to know what your options are, right? You don't want to pigeonhole yourself, for lack of a better term, and think you've found a place and without having seen other places, right? So because the worst thing that could happen is you get there and 2-3 months into it, you're like, oh man, I made a mistake here. So I would encourage that you see at least a handful of different places to give you some perspective and give you some things to compare and contrast to make sure any one spot, any one campus is the right place for you. Most of these places are good places. There are very few bad places, but sometimes it's not the right place for you. So it's not necessarily a good or bad thing. It's just what does that fit look like for you and for that school and for the coaching staff and the support staff that you'll be working with. Just the understanding the culture and being able to compare that to what other schools have to offer. So I would definitely say at least a few, if not a handful of places to give you that perspective.
So what makes West Virginia that school to come to?
It's the people. The people in the state of West Virginia are very, very similar to the people in East Tennessee. They're just good people. West Virginia University has a bit of an advantage over a lot of schools because we're the professional sports franchise of this state. There's not an NFL team. There's not a Major League Baseball team. There's not an NBA team. So people live and die with the Mountaineers. And so you're going to come here and do something that matters to a lot of people. We joke there's 1.8 million people in this state, and there's 2 Division I institutions, West Virginia University and Marshall down in Huntington. And so we'll give them credit. There might be 100,000 Marshall fans in the state down in that little corner closer to Kentucky, and the other 1.7 million people rather are cheering on the Mountaineers. So you come to WVU, you're gonna be representing an institution that's larger than just the school and the institution itself. It represents the whole state and all the alums and natives of the state that are spread across the country. The WVU is really the main thing that they come back to for games, to support the teams, etc.
Well, I can agree with you when you say East Tennessee is sort of like West Virginia. My mother, rest in peace, has a gospel group, Pendergrass Gospel Singers, and we used to travel all around the world. But West Virginia was one of those places that was very similar to home. Every time I was in West Virginia for church, it felt like I was at home. So I definitely can agree with you there, man. That's pretty awesome.
Yeah, absolutely.
I didn't even think of that, right? So for you to say that, I really see that, and I make great connections with people out there, and it was genuine. From playing sports to playing instruments, everything was genuine, and it felt like home. So we was never away from home there. So,
yeah,
Matt, here on Exigent Sports, I always like to talk about the reason behind getting into sports, because it's not sports can do a whole lot of things. I've talked to people who said, just like you wanted to play sports, but it wound up that you did sports management. Now you found a career, right? How many different jobs are under one roof through sports at West Virginia?
Oh, we have neighborhood of 225 or so employees in the athletic department. That includes coaches, that includes support staff members, that includes administrative staff. We have nutritionists, strength coaches, we have athletic trainers, we have a business office that supports and pays all the bills and processes all the revenue that's coming in. You have guys like me that came up on the marketing and ticket sales side or in charge of generating revenue. You have a sponsorship sales team. So really almost any business function that exists out there from in terms of a potential college major has a role in the athletics department, whether that's, senior management, whether that's accounting, whether that's obviously the coaching side of it. There's on the coaching staff, there's a director of operations who handles all the travel arrangements and logistics around practice schedules and feeding players and all that. So it's something that you can apply a lot of different backgrounds and educational backgrounds to the jobs inside the athletic department. You don't necessarily have to be a sport management major. That's just the path that I took. But there's plenty of people with other types of degrees that now work in the athletic department. And like I said, we're probably in the middle of the road in terms of number of staff members. If you look at the top 60 or so Division I college athletic departments, what used to be the Power Five, that yesterday with all the changes that happened with Texas and Oklahoma moving to the SEC and the new schools coming in this summer to the Big 12 and a couple of new schools going to the ACC, it's now the Power Four, right? You have about 60 Division I programs in that Power Four level that all have, I would say, at least 150, 200 jobs, if not more, that are supporting our student athletes and making the athletic department run on a daily basis.
Right. 200 some odd jobs.
Correct.
That's impressive, and that's a number that I didn't know. But everything that you said is what I tell my student athletes. Look, there's lawyers, there's doctors, there's coaches, there's scouts, there's referees, there's laundry people, there's restaurants. Every job that you can see out there, you can completely be involved with, so you can make yourself available, right? If you can't continue your life in sports can still be in your whim of what you want to do, and you still rub elbows with,
Yeah, absolutely. And the other way to look at it, like here's the one guaranteed fact: sports are going to end for all of us, right?
That's right.
It ends sooner for some than others, whether that ends after high school, ends after college, ends after some amount of time in the minor leagues or professional, and the very, very select minority make it to the big leagues, right?
Right.
But even then, it ends eventually. So whether you work in sports directly or leverage the relationships and contacts that you make during your time in sports to help you when you go out into the real world, so to speak, and start looking for jobs. You may not work in sports, but you may have a teammate or a former coach or a rival player that you have a connection with that can help open a door for you to get a job at the local bank or the hospital or in the school system or whatever it might be. So being in that fraternity of sports will continue to open up doors for you if you work it and do your part to network and develop and establish those relationships.
And with those relationships, those type of jobs, would you be comfortable saying that it could be easy to support yourself and your family?
Absolutely. I mean, I'm married with two kids, right? Like, and my wife works too, but it definitely has allowed me to establish a life and support my children and give them opportunities to participate in sports and have good groups of friends at school and teammates and all that. So yeah, absolutely. It goes a long way to helping you establish, your role in a family once your playing days are done.
Right. And I agree with that. So, and that's what we want to do, right? We want to help the kids notice that at one point that it's all going to be over. Sports will end for you at some point. But if you love sports this much, there's still so many different ways. So tell us a little bit more about what you do. I read a little bit on you, and I've seen that you're involved with even the uniforms and things of that nature. So apparel.
Yes. So I oversee our external areas. So probably the easiest way to define external, it's dealing with the outside groups that support the athletic department. So fans and donors who buy tickets, sponsors who advertise with the athletics department, groups like Nike. And so when you reference uniforms, I manage our contract with Nike. And so every 4 or 5 years or so, we are up for a new set of uniforms for football, for basketball, for baseball, et cetera. And I work with our contacts at Nike to arrange the business end of that from a contractual standpoint, making sure if we're going to get 3 different colors or 4 different colors of football jerseys, and then also help coordinate with our graphic design and the artistic group on our campus on working through the design and making sure that the look that we want, Nike can execute at the factory to make it come to life on the field. So that's probably one of the more fun parts of the job, is when you get into that room and start talking about uniform designs and what you want to do different and how you want to incorporate maybe elements of the past to keep that tradition of what West Virginia University has been on the field and what their look has been, but also modernize to keep it relevant and exciting for recruits and fans and all that. So oversee all those areas. Sponsors, manage a lot of contracts. For years, oversaw the ticket office, sport administrator for baseball, marketing office, and then the equipment room. So it's enough to keep me busy. You got to get a few things on the plate.
Well, let me ask you, do you guys do that? Graphics, is that within WVU, or you have an outside source do that? And before you answer that, I'm gonna tell you why. Because I do apparel. You know, I've made many uniforms for many different schools, youth programs, and I love designing. Right? I'm asking because I want to know if I can get in on that WVU graphic design stuff.
No, you can send me a few ideas and we'll take a look at it.
Okay.
I won't make any promises, but you can send me a few ideas.
Okay.
We've done it both ways. We went through a process in 2017 and 18, and we actually worked with the design group at Nike in Portland. I made a couple of trips to Nike's campus. We had meetings. We talked about inspiration and tradition and the things that make West Virginia unique. And then they incorporated that into a design that we rolled out before the 2019 football and basketball seasons. This most recent redesign, COVID probably delayed it a year. We probably would have been on the field in 23 in a normal timeline, but with COVID and factory capacity and all that with Nike, that got delayed to the unveiling being on the field this coming fall. We actually designed it in-house. We have a graphic, back to the jobs that exist in the athletic department that we were talking about earlier. We have a graphic design team, a unit that's what they do. They design all of our graphics and social media graphics that you see, and we're celebrating victories and championships. And we just had a season-long campaign. Our baseball coach, longtime baseball coach, retired, and we had a special logo for him and as part of that final season. So that internal group designed it, and then we had a committee that I was part of, and we talked about what works on our uniform, what we could bring back that maybe was on the uniform in the 80s and 90s that was popular and is a nod to the history and tradition, and then also how do you incorporate some more modern elements, because we're trying to excite everybody from the youngest Mountaineer fan out there that's 2 or 3 years old that's just becoming a fan, to the 85-year-old who's been a fan his whole life, and everybody in between. And they all have different things that speak to them, right? So we're trying to balance that tradition with modernization to be able to excite the recruits, excite the 85-year-old, and excite the 5-year-old, right? That's not as easy as it might sound, but that's the goal to accomplish.
And you do that for every sport, is that correct?
We do. Now, it's safe to say the higher profile sports get a little bit more attention, right? But we do that for all 19 sports that we have. Golf's a little bit different, right? They're wearing a golf shirt and a pair of shorts. So it's not technically a uniform, but if they have a uniform, we have brand standards and certain things that we allow, and then we coordinate with our equipment staff, our coaching staff, operations staff, and come up with a look and design for each of those teams.
What is something cool coming up for West Virginia?
So we unveiled for the first time a black football uniform, and we did not put a single stitch of gold or blue, our traditional school colors, on it.
Wow.
Because we wanted to tie in with the state heritage and history of the coal industry. And so we went with more black and some white and some metallic gray or silver, and visited a coal mine and talked to coal miners and talked to executives in the coal industry to find out what the industry meant to them. And then we tried to incorporate those elements into the uniform. So we're going to have wear that for the first time at a game to be determined this season, and then encourage our fans to wear black and call it a coal rush. We have a gold rush game every year. We're gold and blue. Gold's one of our primary colors. We encourage all of our fans to wear gold. So we're going to have a coal rush game and encourage our fans to wear black to support the launch of those new black coal themed uniforms.
Nice. So I expect to see that this fall in football.
This fall in football, you're correct.
Absolutely. Yeah. Well, that'll be nice. I think I want to be at that game.
Come on up, man. Come on up.
I think I want to be at that game because that is nice. And as we all know, like my son, born and raised in, Tennessee, Oak Ridge, Tennessee, to be exact, has a few schools that he likes. He wants to play collegiate football. One of my sons, I have several, but this one I'm talking about, he loves Oregon. And it's all because of the uniforms. You can't make me believe anything different, right? It's all because of the uniform. And that's going to be big on recruiting, right? Making sure that you have the swag for these kids coming in. They want the swag. They want to look nice. They want to be able to post it on their social media, how good they look, and represent West Virginia well, or any other school that they're going to go to. So having that swag is very important. And speaking of that, Coach, NIL is one of the biggest things out there. I'm sorry I called you Coach. I'm used to talking to coaches all the time.
Big call worse. Don't worry about it.
Did you ever coach, or did you jump right into sports manager where you are?
I've never coached anything more than what I do now. With I'm one of the assistant coaches on a 12U baseball team right now with my son, but I've not done it any higher level than that. Now I was smart enough to know coaching wasn't my deal, right? So I pretty quickly decided I wanted to get into the business side of the sports. It just seemed like that's where my natural abilities lined up better. So no, I haven't really ever coached.
Well, don't count yourself out, because J.J. Redick coached the 4th grade team last year. And now is the head coach of the Los Angeles Lakers. So don't count yourself out. Making those connections, as we talked about, is very important.
Absolutely.
Hey, thanks for tuning in, Exigent Sports. We do have to take a small commercial break, but you tune in and make someone aware. Please share right now. It's a perfect time to do that, but we'll be right back.
Dad always worked hard, and even though he could never tell me exactly what he did at the lab, I knew he was doing it for us. He was always there for me, for all of us. But now it's my turn to keep him safe. It's good to know there's help.
To find out how to get all the benefits you or your loved one has earned with their medical benefits card, call the home option and see how we can help.
Commercial Metals Company is still a locally operated company that's serving the people of East Tennessee with convenient hours of operation. Commercial Metals buys all types of scrap metal. Nothing is too big or too small. Still have that old clunker sitting around? We've been buying them for years. Commercial Metals are specialists in commercial scrap. We have what it takes to get any size job done. Commercial Metals encourages you to recycle responsibly. Scrap with only licensed dealers. Member of the TSRA and the ISRI. Commercial Metals Company. Turn that scrap into cash.
Make this spring all about enjoying the experience. When you ride on your new Ferris commercial mower featuring patented suspension technology, you'll have more than freshly manicured grass. You'll experience productivity and comfort like never before. And because you won't be slowing down for those rough spots, you'll mow more lawn in less time. Ferris, experience suspension.
It's the best 6 days of summer. The Anderson County Fair, July 15th through the 20th. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Saturday. Kids 15 and under get in free. It's all the fun and rides that you love at the fair. Regular admission is $10 per night or $40 for a season pass. And you can pay one price for all the rides. There's nightly entertainment and cash giveaways. And don't miss the 16th annual truck pull on Thursday and Friday. The Anderson County Fair, July 15th through the 20th. Be there for the best 6 days of summer.
NIL is huge, and today it's like the development part has gone away because you're in a win now system. Everybody wants to win now, so the transfer portals come through, NIL has come through. How do you guys manage and weigh that from trying to keep development in, trying to keep good people coming in and make sure people just not coming for money or not just want money? How do you balance that?
Balance is the right word. And nobody has perfected it, right? Some schools do it better than others and make it work. Resources certainly are a big part of that. How deep are your pockets? But at the same time, I think you got to understand who you are, what your identity is as an institution and as a brand. West Virginia isn't going to have the same resources that Ohio State or Tennessee do. So you don't try to compete at that same level in terms of getting players. We've got to find guys that are maybe, as you look at the transfer portal, we've had a lot of success with guys that were really good at the D2 level. And as they get into their sophomore and junior years, they say, hey, I want a chance at D1. I wasn't good enough coming out of high school to play D1. Well, that is the new approach to developing, right? In the past, you go back to the 80s with Coach Don Nealon, legendary head coach here, a Hall of Famer. He would develop his program, have a couple of mediocre years 3 and 4, have really good years, play in a major bowl game, played for the national championship once, but then the cycle would start over. Then the next year would be a little bit down. Year 2, build back up. Years 3 and 4, be right back in the national landscape, right? Those were all guys they were signing and were playing 4 and 5 years. That's becoming more and more rare. So what coaches have to do is shift their thinking and kind of change the paradigm to say, okay, if we're not going to hold on to a guy for 4 or 5 years because he's probably going to go somewhere he can play if he's not playing right away, then how do we find guys that have developed that we can plug in to supplement the existing roster? We just had a Division II pitcher, was all Big 12 MVP of the Tucson Regional, has made several Division I college All-American teams this year, and it was his 5th year. He played 4 years of D2. With the COVID year, had the 5th year remaining and available to him, came and killed it at the D1 level. And so I think that's what you're going to see more and more of, is if you can't have a guy for 4 or 5 years to develop them on average, then you're going to have to find some guys at the lower levels who have blossomed, and maybe you're playing at a higher level than what they were projected to coming out of high school, and then you snag them and plug them in to help your program.
Yeah, because it's a win now. Everybody wants to win now. And then the best way to do that is doing that. Now, that's a good thing, though, because I don't, knowing people, right? We've talked about that, knowing people. I believe some people are under-recruited. I believe some parents don't have the resources or maybe the finances to go to camps, to get in front of those coaches. And there are a lot of kids that are very developed, very talented, that won't be looked at because they are not making those connections, or they don't have the funds to make it to those camps, or somebody just knows somebody, right? And they wind up going to a D2, NAIA or something like that, which makes it great because now they have an opportunity to shine there. And D1 is looking for prime ready guys because it's win now. So that makes a great opportunity for those kids. How do you feel about a young student athlete in high school not even in high school. Let's go to middle school. How do you feel about a reclass student? Does college just look onto that like this kid is going to be more primed if he's reclassed, and went down a grade to prepare himself for, whatever sport it is?
I don't know that it makes a huge difference. I'm sure there's some high profile instances where that's, a big thing. But I think generally with some of the rules now, used to, you had guys getting offers when they're in 8th grade and 9th grade and all that stuff. And like, I know with college baseball, they've changed that rule and you can't offer them until after August 1 of their junior year. Right. And because you can't offer that because you can't offer that scholarship until that point, all that other stuff kind of comes out in the wash and balances out. Right. So like whether they reclassed when they were in 7th grade or 8th grade or 9th grade, if you can't offer them the scholarship until the August 1 of their junior year, it really doesn't have the impact it might have had at one point. Now, there might be some guys that are high profile that reclass and come out early once they get to their junior years of high school, and that probably has a little bit bigger impact. But some of the stuff that you alluded to, I'm not sure will have as much of an impact because of the new rules around when offers can actually be extended, at least in most of the sports. That would be my take on that.
Huh. So you said it won't be to the junior year before a baseball they can do baseball recruiting?
Before they can't offer them a scholarship until August 1 of their junior year.
Really?
We used to be committing guys in 8th and 9th grade trying to like project out and get ahead of, and now that's kind of stabilized because nobody can offer, until that point. And you've had a better chance to gauge their development, right? Like a lot changes between 8th grade and your junior year of high school. And you probably remember guys that were pretty good when they were 12 and you passed them up by the time you were 15 or 16, right?
Yep.
So all that stuff, I think, equals out a little bit because of some of the new rules about when these offers, and that's not every sport, but I'm just giving you baseball as the example.
Right.
But I think that applies to a lot of the sports now.
That is news. I did not know that. Thank you for sharing that. I did not know that. And I'm sure all those folks at home, especially those baseball parents, they need to know that if they didn't know that. So that's definitely news to me. Thank you for sharing that.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's pretty awesome. So what about basketball? What about football? When can you offer a scholarship?
Yeah, I don't have the rule book in front of me, so I don't want to speculate on that. But I think it's a little bit later than maybe it used to be with back in the day when you see some of these kids really, really young, quarterbacks especially, getting offered when they're in middle school and stuff. It doesn't mean they're not going to camp and getting their name on the system and having conversations, but when the official offers can come. But I hesitate to give you that exact number just off the top of my head. I don't remember.
Let me ask you this. I want to word this right. I don't want to say it wrong. Offers. How long can an offer last? If I see on Twitter all the time, blessed to receive an offer by WVU at Coach Blase Blase. How real is that, and how long does that last?
I would say it's real. Unless somebody's just making it up, right? You have a few of those, but I would say for the most part, you see that on somewhere that it's real. It probably depends on circumstance, right? If you're a high profile guy and you get those early offers, they're probably willing to wait on you, right? And going to let you go through your process and give you a chance to select them as part of that process. If you're more of a tweener or maybe on that threshold of, hey, we're interested, but we're not interested, you might have some parameters on, hey, it's available now, but if somebody else jumps on board, it might not be available, right? So it probably depends on the circumstance of the player, the need for the team. Like, do they need one more linebacker or do they need 4 more linebackers, right? If they need one more linebacker and they've got offers out to 8 guys, it might be first guy in the boat. So it's hard to put a blanket answer on that and say it's only valid for a certain amount of time, because I think it's going to depend on a lot of the circumstances for both the school and the individual.
Right. Well, good. I like to hear that, because you see it a lot, and I know they're real, for the most part. But I've talked to some like, hey, that window could close at any time, right? And just like someone can offer you, they can take an offer away.
That's right.
Right. And it's all business at the end of the day. It's a business decision, for the family and
for both parties. For both parties.
Yeah, absolutely. So how big does social media play a part in the recruiting for college coaches?
It's huge. I think the one area that probably has developed more in the last 10 years, and certainly I've been in this business in some shape, form, or fashion since 1997, right? So social media didn't exist back then. But since social media has become such a big part of it, the need to create content like graphics, like video. So it's not just the coaches utilizing social media, it's employing those individuals that create that creative content that then the coaches and the recruiting staffs can use, because you have the photo shoots. You want to put together the custom videos to make them feel special and make them understand what it would be like for them to be a Mountaineer. So that's huge, both for the coaches and the football and basketball and other sports recruiting staffs, plus our creative folks. It's allowed us to create more positions to support, because the volume of content they need is huge.
What is that? Is that another occupation?
It is. It's another one. It's one of those 220 jobs or whatever the number is, right?
It doesn't stop. It doesn't stop. So, and I always tell people, reach for the moon, because even if you fall short, you'll still be amongst the stars, right?
There you go. There you go.
Ball's going to end at some point, but there's always a job. There's always a way, for you to still stay in the realm of sports, of athletics. And you're a prime example of that. And coming out of a small town, did you play ball for Lake City? What?
So, Lake City Middle School, Anderson County High School.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Small town guy, right? In my eyes, you've made it big time.
Well, appreciate that. Thank you.
Right. This is big time for me, right? I'm rubbing elbows with somebody who, like you said, been in it since 97, and you have connections. You've met some people. You've seen some people go pro, right? You probably have those connections as well. And that's reaching for the moon, because even if you fall short, you'll still be amongst the stars. And that's my goal here, right? Everybody's not going to be a D1 athlete. Everyone's not going to go be a professional athlete. But if you love something, there is a way out. And that's what I do here. Like I said, I just want to bridge the gap. What's it going to take for these high school students to prepare themselves from high school to get on into college? And what are some things to do? What are some backup plans and things of that nature? So you've absolutely hit the mark for me for this interview. I appreciate it.
Yes, sir. I appreciate your time.
Yeah.
I appreciate your time. Thanks for the opportunity.
Absolutely. Anything you want to tell? Well, hold on. Before that, I normally ask people, what's your dream job? But you've been doing this for so long. It looks like you have your dream job, and you said you don't want to go coach the Yankees anytime soon, right?
That's right. Right. My dream job at this point might be retirement, being on a beach somewhere, right? You get to that point, but no, I've got several years left. I just want to keep doing what I'm doing, and I'm in a pretty good spot, and I have flexibility to really be engaged with my family and be part of what they got going on. I got a 12-year-old and a 10-year-old. They're actually 13-year-old. He'd kill me if I told you that was 12. 13-year-old and a 10-year-old, and both are playing ball. So that's a big part of our life right now too.
Awesome. What is something that someone may not know about you? What is an interesting fact that someone may not know about you?
Well, that's a good question. I don't know that anything comes to mind right off the top that anybody would find all that interesting about me. So I think probably, it kind of goes back to what you talked about. Like, I've never really been that good at anything, right? But I've been able to apply myself and I think maximize my abilities more than anything. I was never the fastest or strongest or biggest or anything like that. But and I'm certainly not the smartest. There's a lot of kids made a lot better grades and worked a lot harder in school than I did. But I think I've been able to take what I have and maximize my strengths to put together in a somewhat successful career. So that would probably be the thing I would leave you with.
Nice. Well, I very much appreciate this. This has been grand. This is exactly what I was looking for. Didn't know, and everything I do is organic, right? I don't have any pre-planned questions, right?
Yeah.
I just want to kind of just get a feel of you get a feel of me, and we'll just kind of roll. So it's all organic, and it's real as possible to give the people the best insight we can. And like I said, you hit the hammer on the nail. Greatly appreciate you taking the time. Do you like fishing?
I fish a little bit, yeah. Fish.
Are you a swimmer?
I like to lay around the pool. I don't like to swim a whole lot.
There goes an interesting fact. Can you cook?
There you go. Cook?
Yeah, can you cook?
No. That's all my wife, man.
You don't do the cooking?
My kids would starve if I had to cook.
All right, Matt Wells, you've been a blessing to D110 Studios, been a blessing to BBB Communication. Thank you for coming from a small town to making it to the big times. And let's keep a connection going. If there was anybody you would want to see on this show, who would it be?
Well, you already had my guy Robbie on there, right?
Oh, yeah.
Go get his brother Scotty. I think he's the principal at Rockwood now. He was a quarterback at Clinton and played at Maryville College. So yeah, I'll give my family some pub there.
Okay, Scotty. I'm on my way to get you, bud. You're on the list. You're on the list, so I'm going to come get you. Again, thank you so much for joining me here on Exigent Sports. It's been a blast. Thank you so much.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
All right, and maybe we can make a connection. I have a rising senior that plays football and a rising sophomore that plays football.
Great.
Maybe if you have any camps or anything coming up, let me know, and maybe I can get my guys out there.
Sounds good.
All right, thank you so much.
All right, thank you.
All right, guys, thank you for joining here on Exigent Sports. Matt Wells joined us from West Virginia. Small town guy, came from Lake City, played ball at Anderson County High School, now at West Virginia, doing amazing things. And we're going to keep in contact with Matt Wells, and hopefully he can continue working so he can reach his dream job to retire. Sorry to interrupt this program. I know, but hey, sharing is caring. Make sure you share. Make someone aware, and please share. Sharing is caring. Go ahead and share this right now while we take this quick commercial break. We'll be right back.
At Ferris, we want you to get the most out of your time and end each day feeling good. That's why we pioneered exclusive lawnmower suspension technology, allowing for full-speed mowing, even over the roughest terrain. Grow your business by getting more done in less time with Ferris. Ferris. Work hard, feel good. Found exclusively at independent Ferris dealers.
Dad always worked hard, and even though he could never tell me exactly what he did at the lab, I knew he was doing it for us. He was always there for me, for all of us. But now it's my turn to keep him safe. It's good to know there's help.
To find out how to get all the benefits you or your loved one has earned with their medical benefits card, call the home option and see how we can help.
I know it's old-fashioned, but I don't have a cell phone. So when my landline cut out, we just felt so isolated.
The power was down on the entire block. It was a Saturday, so the kids were home.
I wouldn't say that I'm addicted, but when I lost my cable and internet, I was paralyzed.
You have no idea what they put me through.
And all because my neighbors didn't call 811. Did they, honey?
For more information, visit www.call811.com.
Oh no, not again.
Prescription drug misuse is a prevalent and potentially fatal problem. When people do not properly monitor, store, and dispose their medications, it can create an opportunity for misuse. Count it. Make it a goal to count your pills once every 2 weeks. Like it. Secure your medications at home. Drop it. Drop off unused or expired medications for proper disposal at any police department in Anderson County. For more info, visit asapofanderson.org. Brought to you by ASAP of Anderson. Prevention works.
It's the best 6 days of summer. The Anderson County Fair, July 15th through the 20th. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Saturday. Kids 15 and under get in free. It's all the fun and rides that you love at the fair. Regular admission is $10 per night or $40 for a season pass. And you can pay one price for all the rides. There's nightly entertainment and cash giveaways. And don't miss the 16th annual truck pull on Thursday and Friday. The Anderson County Fair, July 15th through the 20th. Be there for the best 6 days of summer.
This is not over. I have another guest waiting right here with me. He's going to jump in on right now. Let's get my other guest on right here. Let's add him to the stage. Zaire Oliver. Welcome to Exigent Sports, man. How many sports do you play, Zaire?
2.
How many?
I only play 2 sports.
Okay, what are they? What are your 2 sports?
Football, track.
Football and track. Now, I heard you was a great soccer player.
Yeah.
Are you gonna try soccer again, or you just gonna leave? Are you gonna give it a shot again, or you just gonna let it go?
I'm definitely gonna give it a shot. One more
Give
year.
it a shot. So you're a rising freshman. As an 8th grader can pretty much go anywhere they want, right?
Yes.
What are you planning to land for your 9th grade year, and who are you gonna help win some ball games?
Oak Ridge High School.
So you're gonna be a Wildcat.
Yes, sir.
That's what's up. Now, they have a pretty good soccer program and a soccer coach. So are you sure you're going to give that a try? Because I want to see that.
Yes, I'm sure I'm going to give it a try.
That's what's up. I heard you was really good, and I never got a chance to watch you like in game time situation. I seen you practice, but I never seen game time situation. I want to come out and support you in a game time situation for that. So I know you love football. I know you love track. You know, what is your favorite sport though?
Probably football. More.
Yeah. Yeah. What's your favorite position in football?
I love receiver, but I never play receiver.
You never play receiver? So you want to give that a shot? You got good hands? You got to have good hands now.
My hands are amazing.
Okay. So do you like the offensive side of the ball better or the defensive side of the ball better?
Defense.
Defense.
Yeah.
So what's your favorite position on defense?
I would definitely want to go back to linebacker, but I think this year I'm going to try to stay with the DBs.
Why?
I just been playing DB all my life.
Yeah. But your favorite position is linebacker.
Yeah.
I take it you like to hit somebody.
Yeah.
I know that's right, Zai. When I play football, I love to play defense. That was my favorite part of football. I just want to hit somebody. I was real good with the ball in my hand, but I like to go tackle the ball. I like to find where the ball is, and I like to be the one to get that tackle. So what brings you, where'd your love for football come from?
I mean, just growing up, I just been playing football since the age of 4. It's just, I don't know how to explain it. It's just, I just been in football so long. It's just over time. It's just something that I love.
Now, who was your first ever football coach?
I don't even know.
I bet it was me. I bet the first time you put on a football jersey, it was with me. And I bet it was for Rocky Top. You probably don't remember back that far.
I don't.
I want you to ask your daddy, man, who was your first coach? I don't know if it's me or not. I'm just guessing. I'm just guessing that it was me because I can remember having you at a very young age. You was younger than everybody out there, but you still came out there and gave it a shot. Now, Zaire, since I've been watching you since a little kid, man, dude, you've always been a dude. Like you knew how to dribble the ball at like 3 years old. You can throw the ball at 3 years old, or a football at 3 years old. Like you've always had a ball in your hand, so you gravitated to sports naturally, right?
Yeah.
Where do you see yourself in the next 5 years?
In the next 5 years?
Yes.
I see myself. That's actually a great question. I see myself finishing real estate school, going into NFL.
Well, it'll probably take about 7 to 8 years to go to the NFL because you got to have at least 2 years. So you're a freshman, right? You got to have 4 years in high school. You got to have at least 2 years in college to go on to the NFL. So, but you see yourself preparing for the NFL but already have your real estate license. So you plan to go to college with your real estate license. Is that what you're telling me?
Yes.
I like that. So you can start studying now for your real estate, right? And as soon as you turn 18, you can take that test.
Yeah.
All right, take that test. You pass that test, you become a realtor. And so go ahead and start studying now, because the verbiage in it is extensive. I know, because I did it myself, and I got all the way to where it was time to take a test, and I didn't take the test. I picked up another field, right? But the verbiage is very extensive. So go ahead and start studying now. That way you can get those words and like I said, the verbiage, get that stuff out the way. So when it comes to taking a test, it won't be trick questions for you. You would understand it, to its full potential. And like I said, you can start taking classes right now, right? You can find somebody that's offering it for free, or, you can invest in it yourself, whatever it takes, but you can start studying for your real estate right now. So coming into Oak Ridge High School, I think football is about to start up. It'll be the first sport that cranks up, right? You're going to be a freshman. I know they have freshmen and JV play together in the past few years. What do you see yourself? What do you want to contribute to your team coming in on your first year as a freshman?
I mean, I'm gonna give it all that I got. I don't know how it's gonna go, but whatever comes my way, I'm just gonna try to prepare for it.
That's right. So what are you doing, out right now to prepare for it? What are you doing to get yourself prepared for the season coming up?
Nah, I just been doing a lot of working.
Yeah. Do you enjoy the work, or is it painful to you?
It's painful, but it's just, I don't know how to explain it. It's painful, but it's to get me better.
Right. It's part of it. It's part of it. And I tell everybody, it's not what you do at practice. To be honest, if you want to be great, it's what you do outside of practice. What's your personality traits like? What's your grades like? Those are all the biggest things that matter. But those that you see out there right now that's, getting scholarships or getting offers and things like that, those kids put in tremendous amount of work. Are you making sure outside of practice that you put in a tremendous amount of work?
Yes, the best I can.
Yeah. So you always got to do that. You never stop working, because obviously you want to go to college. That's what it sounds like, because you want to have a chance to play in the NFL, right? But right now they have what they call the United Football League, and that's the USFL and the XFL combined. If things didn't happen and they didn't want you immediately in the NFL, would you be willing to try the UFL?
Yes, I tried.
Right, because it's professional sport regardless, right? And you'll still be getting paid. And that's the goal, right? You want to find your niche. What is it? And your niche is what you're good at. You want to take your dreams and what you're good at and make it a career. That's what a niche is. Find your niche. What are you better than everybody else at, right? And then go out there and do it in a professional way. If football didn't work out for you, what would be your backup plan? Would it be the real estate?
Yeah, well, I kind of got two.
What's the other one?
Of course, real estate, but then I also want to be a mechanic.
Working on cars?
Yeah.
Have you thought about working on planes?
Nah.
You should think about it. You should think about it. The one thing about college, the one thing about careers is they're like trees, right? A tree will grow up, but what comes off those trees?
Leaves.
Before the leaves, branches. There's so many different branches of mechanics. And right now in the mechanics, we're looking at electric cars. So I'm pretty sure by the time that you're graduated, there's going to be, it ain't going to be that many gasoline cars out there. I'm pretty sure they're going to try to figure it out where we're all trying to drive an electric car at some point, right? So there's different branches as a mechanic. You can be a auto mechanic, but you also can do aircrafts, helicopters, and so many different things. So don't just find what your niche is, right? Find what you're better at. But I would give aero mechanics a shot. I would give trying to fix airplanes and helicopters a shot, because I'm pretty sure they make a lot more money than now. Don't get me wrong. There's mechanics, auto mechanics, that make really great money, right? My goal to the people I talk to is to make sure that they're understand that there's branches, and I want you to reach for the moon. Because even if you fall short, you still can be amongst the stars, right? So you want to give it the best effort that you got, and find out can you do this because it makes the most money? Now, if you're not having fun doing it, there's no reason for you to try, right? But I want to see you make the most money in your profession, no matter what it is, right? So look for those branches. There's a lot of different branches in mechanics. There's a lot of different branches in real estate as well. You don't just have to sell homes. You can sell land. You can sell businesses and stuff like that. So real estate has different branches too. So make sure that you look into your branches to see which one's best for you. All right?
Yeah.
Now, you promised me you was going to try to play some soccer.
Yeah.
I want to see that, Zai. I want to see you play some soccer, man. That'll be awesome, man. And run some track. And I tell you, a lot of great football players, they run track.
Yeah.
They run track, and it makes a difference. It makes a difference on their form of how they run. It gets them faster, and all that. And they get they keep themselves endured, their body, the energy, all that is always ready to go. So I want to see you run some track as well. Zai, what is something somebody might not know about you?
I mean, I can think of a lot of things. I don't know.
What is something that you like that somebody may not know that you like?
Oh, I love going fishing. I love hunting. Just outdoors.
Yeah. You're a country boy.
Yeah.
Yeah. I like that, Zai. I like that, Zai. I Bucket wants to go fishing, so maybe next time when you go fishing, you can take Bucket with you, because he would love that. He would love that. Basketball. You play basketball?
No.
No. So it's summertime, Zai. What are your plans for the summer? Do you have any vacation plans, or do you or just sports plans? Tell me, what are your plans for the summer?
Just a lot of working. Going working. Like my free time, just be outside.
Being a kid.
Yeah.
That's what's up. Yeah. It don't last long, kid, I tell you that. So enjoy yourself and be as much as a kid as you can. Don't put too much pressure on yourself, man. Enjoy what you do. You be a kid for as long as you can. And like I said, don't put too much pressure on yourself. Just enjoy life, man. Do you play video games?
No.
That's what's up. I like to hear that too. Too many kids playing video games and taking them away from the outside life. But obviously, you like to do outside things, be an outside kid, and that's special, man. I like to hear that. That's amazing. I salute you for that, man. I salute you for that. I salute you. Well, Zai, I appreciate you coming on. This is trying to figure out this Exigent Sports. I'm just trying to figure out what these student athletes are doing for the summer. Are they taking vacations? Are they working on their craft? And do you know when school starts for you?
I think July 22.
July 22nd, that's my birthday.
Yeah.
That's my birthday. So I'm going to need you to give me a gift for you going back to school.
I got you.
Zaire Oliver, you are our guest for the day here on the show. I had to put your name up there. Did I spell it right?
Yeah.
I did. Thank you for taking the time to join me, Zaire. I wish you nothing but the best of the luck. And anything you want to tell the people before we get off here?
Love y'all. Have a great rest of the day.
That's what's up. Thank you, Zaire. I appreciate you joining me.